I wasn't sure how much I'd love the Case of the Slam Dunk Mystery because, well, I don't care about basketball at all. And I will admit, maybe the first third of the book, it took me about a third of it to kind of start liking it, but once it got underway, I thought it was pretty decent. In this New Adventures of Mary Kate and Ashley book, it seems like somebody is sabotaging the basketball team, the Mustangs. And it starts off with somebody, well, the jerseys have gone missing. Whether or not somebody has taken them is up for debate. And then other things start to happen that seem like they're going to jeopardize the team's game in the playoffs. And Mary Kate and Ashley, who are on the basketball team, take it upon themselves to try and find out what is going on. And I will say, I didn't work it out. With hindsight, I could have done. I feel like there were enough clues there. Well, there weren't actually that many clues as to who it was, but if I'd had an inkling, I think it would have been a fair guess. But I didn't, and I don't feel too bothered that I didn't work it out because I wasn't that invested in the narrative, but I was still curious enough to see who it was. So I didn't love it. The Case of the Slam Dunk Mystery is by no means my favourite. There are a couple of basketball terms in it that I just don't understand, and they weren't explained. And there are no real explanations of any of the mystery terms. For example, some of the books explain, motive and things. So there's no real explanation in this either. So the vocabulary is very specific and not very helpful if you don't know what things mean. It's also not the best written. Some of the grammar is a little bit awkward, and it referred to an email as a letter at one point, which I thought was rather amusing. So yeah, it's definitely not the best written. There were a couple of grammatical errors, as I said, and if you don't know anything about basketball, like me, there will be terms that you don't necessarily understand, and I feel like they should have explained them, even just briefly, like they do with, for example, the cheerleading ones. They sometimes, not always, but sometimes offer some explanations. So yeah, it's not the best written, and I also didn't love the narrative, but I was curious enough to keep reading. Don't mind the front cover. I think it looks pretty okay, and that's the back for anybody who cares. I did not pay $4.25. I don't know how much I paid for it, but I can confirm the shipping was probably more than the book itself. Unfortunately, the photo cards have been taken from this one already. There we have shortish chapters, large writing size. Ideal for the target audience. Takes about 15 minutes for me to read it. I'd say it's maybe a half an hour to an hour read for the target audience. Not my favourite at all, but I didn't mind reading it.